Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The UN has called for urgent international action to get aid into Gaza amid fresh warnings that nearly 500,000 people there, 1 in 5 of the population, now face catastrophic hunger. Parents are fearful about finding food and medication for their children as the Israeli aid blockade enters its 3rd month. Since the beginning of March, Israel has blocked all shipments of humanitarian aid, including food and medical supplies.
We are adults, we can handle it, but these kids are victims. They cannot handle it. They can die from hunger. If my girl doesn't die today, she will die tomorrow if this situation continues.
Starvation is spreading. People are exhausted. People are hungry. And more now we can expect in the coming weeks, if no aid is coming in, that people will not just die because of the bombardment, but they will die because of the lack of food. Obviously, any aid diversion would be a matter of concern, but what I can tell you is whenever UNRWA or UN agency is distributing food, we're directly distributing the food to the people in need, for which needs have been assessed by us.
Screams of joy as the Israeli-American hostage Eddan Alexander was reunited with his family in Israel. The 21-year-old had been held captive by Hamas in Gaza for 19 months. A senior Hamas official said the release was intended as a goodwill gesture and as part of efforts to reach a new ceasefire deal ahead of President Trump's visit to the Middle East. Mr. Alexander is thought to be the last US citizen held by Hamas who is still alive. Donald Trump has arrived in Saudi Arabia for the first major diplomatic trip of his 2nd term. The US president greeted dozens of Saudi dignitaries after meeting Crown Prince bin Salman. Elon Musk, President Trump's advisor and CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, is among numerous VIP guests who attended a lavish lunch in Riyadh's royal court. Mr. Trump is hoping to secure significant new investment in the US on the 4-day trip to Saudi Arabia, Qatar and the UAE. A group of 59 white South Africans have arrived in the US where they are to be granted refugee status. Donald Trump has said the refugee applications for the country's Afrikaner minority had been expedited as they were victims of racial discrimination. The government has said the group were not suffering any such persecution that would merit refugee status. The Trump administration has halted all other refugee admissions, including for applicants from war zones.
भारत के इन हमलों में 100 से अधिक खूंखार आतंकवादियों को
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said his country will respond strongly to what he describes as a future terrorist attack after 4 days of military exchanges with neighbouring Pakistan. It's his first public address since days of intense shelling and aerial incursions carried out by both sides began. The US brokered ceasefire agreed between the nuclear-armed neighbours at the weekend appears to have held so far. Both nations say they remain vigilant. UK police have arrested a man over suspected arson attacks on 2 properties linked to the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, and a car. Emergency services were called to a fire at the Prime Minister's private home in North London in the early hours of Monday. There was damage to the property's entrance, but nobody was hurt. And Kim Kardashian has admitted she thought she was going to die at the start of her burglary trial in Paris. Here arriving for the start of the court case, her voice quivered as she told the court she thought 2 robbers who came into her room were police officers. Jewelry worth millions of dollars were taken, including a $4 million diamond engagement ring from her then-husband Kanye West. All but 2 of the 10 people accused of robbing her at gunpoint in 2016 have pleaded not guilty. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.